Welcome to this presentation. We are talking about character design and development, how to design effective, interesting, appealing character that will make the game and gameplay interesting. You have to watch our previous series to understand this. At this point, we are talking about the different physical types of the characters. You can come up with your own imaginative character physical types, but you have to do some experiment how the players feel about them, how the marketers or publishers feel about them. Will they be able to market your characters or not? So there are some experiments, but if we look around the games, I think there are some standards just we can know about them. Some humanoids, non-humanoids and hybrids. Characters, sometimes it's voiced character or animated objects. Humanoids, that looks like humans, 2 hands, 2 legs and 1 head. Non-humanoids, anything that is not human, just like animals or some different objects, car, non-humanoid. Hybrid, having both human parts and some non-human parts, some animal part and some human part. Sometimes the character, they are not visible, it's sort of voice, some voice is acting as the character, invisible character, and sometimes the character is some animated object. Sometimes the characters are cartoons. I think in non-specific avatar, the avatar can be a cartoon-like. The cartoon-like characters, they can be 4 different types. Cool, never get too upset, rebellious attitude towards authority, witty, more witty than body force, does not have much body force, does not want to do anything with body force, but try to use his intellect or cleverly. I think some examples, Ratchet and Clank, and their game actions will be fast and focused. Tough cartoons, they exemplify physical aggression. Usually they are male, but Lara Croft, it's a tough character, but it's a female character in Tomb Raider. They usually have exaggerated height and back width, large expansive gestures. I think Ryu from Street Fighter. I think usually the fighting game characters like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, the characters are mostly tough, usually the male characters, including females. Cute cartoon-like character, they are usually made portions of human babies or animal babies. They have large eyes, oversized head, surrounded body. They are dressed with different colors. They jump with wide gaps, climb long ropes, fire larger weapons larger than them, and goofy. They have some odd proportions and funny looks. Now, cartoon characters, they vary across different cultures. In Japanese cartoons, they usually use a lot large eyes and teeny mouths. Americans, they find European cartoons to be ugly. So, as a designer, when you will portray the avatar to be a cartoon, you should be careful about your market. If you are marketing to the European people or to the American people, you have to be careful. If you want to target both market, maybe you have to find some middle ground. And sometimes people use hypersexualized characters. It just they exaggerate the sexual attributes of both man and woman to make them more sexual appealing, at least to the teenagers. For male, extra broad chest, shoulders, huge muscles, prominent jaws, oversized hands and feet. I think Kratos in God of War games, those are exaggerated or hypersexualized male characters. I think in case of Tomb Raider, the Lara Croft, she just kind of example of hypersexualized women. Now, though it has some appeal to puerile or childish people or to the teenagers, I think the market is very small, and I think it is something that you really should avoid because it will not usually grow your market, but people who are already used to this will try to avoid such thing. If the game story is not interesting, the gameplay is not interesting, just because the characters are hypersexualized, people will not buy those things. But sometimes to add some humor or fun, you may exaggerate, but still the story has to be good. Then the game product can make a good market. And in terms of clothing, weapons, symbolic objects and names for the characters or for the visual appearances of the characters, you can define some sort of cloth for the main avatar or for different other characters. Maybe you can make the primary avatar to be distinct. It can have some distinct color, but do not add many distinct visual features. Just 2 or 3 are enough. If you add more and more stuff, it will look odd. People will not like that. That's the usual experience of the game industry. You may assign distinct good names to the characters, but they have to be harmonious and the player has to like them. Color palette, it is also important. You can assign some color to some character and to the main avatar as well. Whenever people will see that particular color, they will know that okay, this is their avatar. In the crowd, they will be able easily to identify themselves, their avatars. In Superman, he wears lots of red. In Batman, he wears lots of black. Whenever you see black, you know that that's the avatar, that's the Batman. So you have to choose your color palette appropriately to identify the main character, the avatar. It also defines the attitude of the character and also the emotional temperament. Now, audio design. I think the characters, they also have to associate with some good audio design for themselves, because the way they make sound, the way they talk, it all has impact on the player or overall gameplay or game action, whether the player enjoy it or not. It is important. So you have to be carefully design the audio for the different game character as well. And the game character, it involves 2 parts: the sound effects and the language. The sounds a character makes tells us something about her personality. The joyous sound or the martial art, when he is doing martial art, the corresponding sound, or when he is drowning, the sound, it should be relevant. It should make sense, or it should reflect the situation. It should not be something funny or irrelevant. It should be something very real or close to real, or maybe still if it's not real, but maybe from the movies or from the films, people has some sort of ideas of the sound. What does it mean? It should comply with the normal, so people will feel easy, the player will feel easy and enjoy the game. The injury, the death, they have some particular sound the films uses, the other games industry uses. You can take something similar, or maybe design something that's realistic and people, according to people's expectation, people's psychological expectation. Then sometimes the deep sound, that means it's slow and strong. Sometimes the high sound, it means light and fast. Also the sound, it should match with the visual texture, visual appearance of the person. Maybe it should match with the game world, the gameplay, the game action. Sometimes you can also mismatch, that can create some funny situation to create some laugh if it's a comedy type of game.